Hey everybody, movie review time. There's a little bit of noise and this isn't exactly the spot that I guess I'm usually doing movies in, and the camera's from an above angle, and eventually I'm going to streamline this stuff, but we watched a couple of movies recently and I just wanted to get these reviews out before I start to forget what happened. A couple of nights ago we watched a German movie that was called, well, I don't know how to pronounce it.
No. It's a Russian movie.
Oh.
It's Russian.
A couple of nights ago we watched a Russian movie. I don't know how to pronounce it. The English translation for the title, the English title was, what was it?
The Mermaid, Lake of the Dead.
There it is. Again, I don't know how Shuang found this movie, but she found it. So here's the review. So I think that the first 2/3 of the movie was pretty fantastic. If you like horror thriller type movies, you can watch the first two-thirds and then turn it off. Obviously that won't be totally satisfying because you want to see the conclusion of the movie, but unfortunately I can assure you the conclusion kind of ruins the movie. Basically for the first 2/3 of the movie you have plot development and character development, and it really is really fantastic stuff. I wouldn't say I'm a horror aficionado. I've seen my fair share of horror movies, and this movie was surprisingly good. The way that they would take, well, I can put it this way. It's a movie about a mermaid, and one of the first scenes shows you this lake of the dead. After that, it takes you, it shows you sort of this initial scene, kind of setting the stage of what might happen or whatever, and then it takes you to the lives of the main characters and starts introducing you to the characters. It makes you terrified of just the sound of water. And they use the sound of water in many different ways, like a shower, just a water droplet, different sounds of water. They magnify the sounds and just really capture, they use sounds very well. I don't know who produced this movie, but whoever was in charge of the sound did a really good job, especially for that first 2/3 of the movie. And so they take a theme of, you're getting to know these characters, and the two main male characters are swimmers. They're competitive swimmers. They've set this theme of water and swimming. They'll take a scene like where the main character's in the changing room of where he swims competitively, and the locker room can, just like that, turn into the perfect landscape for a horror film. Just like that, it's just a spooky locker room that's weird and you don't want to be there, and the water sounds too loud. So they do this again with a hospital, and it's just amazing how seamlessly they'll make a space feel comfortable, and just like that, there's nobody there, and it's dark and it's spooky, and you can hear the water. The first 2/3 of the movie, the build up, the scares are all quite good. You see the mermaid and sort of the build-up of getting spooked out by this mermaid and what the mermaid can do. It's really good, and it's like it keeps you on your toes because it keeps happening. It's like every few minutes you just feel like something's gonna happen. Honestly, for me, it's like it's a hate-love thing. I hate it, but it's like, it's pretty cool when a movie can do that. So they just knocked it out of the park for the first 2/3 of the movie. I really don't understand how anybody could make something so exceptional that just implodes at the end. And so I won't use any spoilers, but I'll say it sort of takes a nosedive at the end. The mermaid's weakness is kind of laughable, and any fear that you had built up about this mermaid immediately washes away, or it did for me. Once you learn about the mermaid's weakness, you just can't take it seriously anymore. And it's amazing how you could have such an incredible build-up, an incredible first two-thirds of the movie that is just melts away. Oh, and the other thing is just that the mermaid itself, initially when you get first glimpses at it, little snapshots or little first experiences of elements of what makes the mermaid scary, it's done really well, and you're in it. You might hear in the background a little bit, the washing machine's going, Strong's cooking, so not the cleanest audio on this review, but hopefully you can still hear me well enough. But yeah, the monster itself, the mermaid, towards the end, when you really get the full experience of the mermaid, it's just not, it doesn't live up to what it should. It's not as spooky. When you get a full look at it, you can just kind of see it doesn't command fear. It looks a little bit like B-movie type monster or something like that. But that said, if you have an evening to give to a horror movie that is exceptional in the first 2/3 and a little bit laughable towards the end, in some way it's kind of nice because you don't end up, if you watch it at night, you don't have to go to sleep terrified. You can you get a thrill of the first 2/3 on the edge of your seat, and then the movie lets you relax and enjoy the rest of your night. So maybe that's exactly what they were going for. Yeah, the Mermaid, Lake of the Dead. I would recommend it. I think it's worth a watch.